Enterprise content management for IBM can solve many different business challenges. Today, we will focus on the capabilities for advanced case management. In today's demo, we will see how brand protection case management solutions from IBM are used to identify and manage a shipment of branded merchandise believed to be counterfeit. Capture Automation has processed available information, and as a result, a new investigations case has been automatically opened. We begin with the regional brand protection leader, who has the responsibility to lead all efforts to drive resolution of this issue. You will see him working with a forensics lab technician and a social network analyst to identify key information required during the investigation process. Finally, he will review collected information in making his recommendation and packaging the final case for prosecution. We begin with John, the regional brand protection leader, who will do an initial review of the case and then take action to build and work with the team to investigate this potential counterfeit issue. John begins with the in-basket and sees that a number of new cases are awaiting review. Product documentation, such as the shipping instructions, have been captured, with key metadata extracted, classified, and scored based on risk profiles. In this instance, a new case was automatically opened and shipped to the brand protection leader for investigation and processing. John has opened the new case, formatted to highlight the key information needed to begin his review with case details. He notes that he also has available product and shipping details which he could review. He also notes that the invoice and the suspicious activity report have been included in the case. The invoice is where he selects to begin. John begins his review with the invoice for the suspected merchandise. He notes that this is not the normal shipping agent used by his company. He also notes the significant value of the shipment, increasing the risk to his brand and the company. As John is not familiar with the shipping agent, his quick search of the corporate repository finds no additional information. This increases his suspicion that this is in fact counterfeit merchandise. He will need to initiate a number of actions to expand the scope of the investigation. John adds an annotation to the invoice, documenting the search results in the view that this may be a fraudulent shipment, while providing an audit trail of the actions taken as part of the investigation. John begins management of the investigation by adding internal action items to his personal checklist. He adds items to the checklist to process the shipment of samples of the seized merchandise to his forensics lab for additional testing. Upon receipt of sample merchandise, John knows that testing will be required by the forensics lab to determine if in fact this merchandise is counterfeit. He uses the Actions button to request product forensic analysis. This is just one of the many tasks used in the process of managing the investigation. In this case, a number of additional items, including the request for case analytics, would also be selected. John has been presented with a number of roles and selects Bill Hall, a forensics lab technician, to complete testing efforts, as he has handled many of these tests in the past. John completes the forensic analysis instructions for Bill, and by selecting to have an alert notification sent, ensures that Bill will be awaiting arrival of the shipped materials that will need to be investigated. John adds comments to the case documenting the actions he has taken, and then saves the case for later actions when additional results have been received. We have seen how the regional brand protection leader has used case management capabilities to manage content and actions required to investigate the suspected counterfeit shipment. By using his extensive product expertise and experience, Bill, the forensics lab technician, performs a series of tests to determine if the suspicious merchandise is in fact counterfeit. Bill receives the automatically generated email alert that new suspected counterfeit samples will be arriving that he will need to test. He sees a link in the email that, once authorization is established via login, will take him directly to the associated case file. Based on his role, Bill is presented with a forensic lab report template, which he will need to complete. He notes that the defined investigation process has identified the tests required based on specific business roles and conditions predefined within the testing process. In this case, specific applicable tests have been identified, while others, like a chemical test, are not applicable to this type of merchandise. During the testing process, Bill has identified similarities within the sample merchandise that he has seen in prior cases. He selects the Add button in the Related Cases window in order to begin a search for similar related cases. Bill has found the related case, and after a complete review has determined that that case matches the current case being tested. He adds comments documenting the similarities of the cases and associates that previous related case to the current case. Bill has completed all of his testing efforts, including associating the prior related cases, and has identified the branded merchandise as in fact counterfeit. He documents the testing results in detail and selects the Complete button to formally complete all testing activities. We have just seen how the forensics lab technician has completed required testing activities while also using his content knowledge and expertise to easily identify and associate similar patterns from related cases. Carly, the social network analyst, uses analytics to discover relationships and patterns between related entities within the investigation. By using the Integrated Case Management plugin, Carly views a notification that she has been assigned to investigate the relationships for a new counterfeit merchandise investigation. From within her analyst desktop, Carly is able to review all content that has been included in the case to date. Using this access, Carly identifies entities, such as the players involved, the shipping agent, etc., that she will use in trying to identify suspicious patterns and relationships that will require further deeper investigation. Carly begins her analysis by establishing the relationships between the shipper and its employees. Carly uses many different filters and conditions to investigate possible interactions as she looks to both target and expand her analysis. Carly also uses federated search capabilities to expand her search to external sources of information. By continually targeting and expanding the scope of her analysis, Carly has identified a set of relationships between shippers and associates at our company. She analyzes the shippers and company associates visually to highlight their relationships. She has found the suspected link needed in identifying the counterfeiting network. Carly can easily save the relationship analysis along with any comments on the process used in identifying the counterfeiting network as part of the case materials. Carly then completes her analysis, automatically including it in the investigation case. We have seen how the social network analyst has utilized analytics and the associated visualizations to identify relationships and patterns key to the investigation, which she seamlessly adds to the case folder. John continues to manage the investigation, and upon completing the review of the results will make his recommendation and package the final case for prosecution. John has received notification that forensics lab testing and case analytics testing has been completed, and results of those tests have been attached to the case. He reviews the summary information for the product test that has been completed and then proceeds to open the case and complete processing of the investigation. John reviews the forensics lab report and the associated related case information, confirming that the suspected merchandise was in fact counterfeit. John continues his review of the case by reviewing the results of the social network analysis. Using the visualization and comments provided, John can quickly see the relationships between the shipping company and associates of his company. Based on his knowledge of the entire case and the analysis performed, he agrees that this is the network responsible for the counterfeit merchandise. Prior to proceeding, John conducts a quick meeting with the key players in the investigation, documenting the results of the meeting and including this as part of the case record. In preparing for his final report for the case, John selects from a checklist of items, including comments, history, documents, etc., that will need to be added to the final investigation report. John does one final review of the contents of the final investigation report, ensuring it reflects the completeness of his and the team's investigation. John selects to forward the case and final investigation report for prosecution by selecting the Complete button for processing. In today's demo, we have seen how IBM Brand Protection Case Management can improve the efficiency and effectiveness in the investigation of counterfeit merchandise. For more information, please contact IBM. Thank you.